Responsible for surveys and institutional research from the Directorate of Quality Promotion. The paper I'm going to share with you today is titled Understanding the Value of Big Data Analytics in Higher Education, Trials and Prospects. Just to give you a brief background of how this paper came about, I started working in TUT in 2011 and I started at the Strategic Management Support, SMS, as an institutional researcher. And when I started working there, it was like I was totally misplaced. People were speaking Creek when all the languages I could understand were only African languages. But I started developing a lot of interest in terms of what they do. They are very technical people, and I'm just a user of what they do. So I come to present to you from the background of a user of this analytics, which I will explain to you later on. I'm not working at SMS anymore, I work at DQP, but that is where this study started. This inquisitiveness started. And I also must say that up front that this is just part of some of the preliminary literature that I'm doing, and I'm trying to do a PhD with this. Some of the acknowledgements are my two managers, Dr. Naidoo and Dr. Selepe, because I've been using them a lot as my sounding boards, just to say this is what I want to do. You know, they are so motherly and fatherly and they can listen to me. So that I appreciate. I really want people who can listen to me. I also acknowledge strategic management support, and I also tried not to plagiarize. I tried as hard as possible, and I've declared it there. That is the organization of the presentation. I'm not going to go into how it unfolds. And then the gist of the matter. What is big data? According to literature that is around, there's a whole lot of data, and we also know, as it has been alluded to in a number of occasions here, that we have a lot of data. Only as an institution, there's a lot of data, pockets of data everywhere, and there's a problem of integration of this data. So we have a lot of data, and that's where the big term, big data, is currently buzzing. It's the big word right now, big data, big data, big data analytics. And according to research, what we know about the data that we have right now is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot that we don't know, because big data is very huge in volume. It is high in velocity. That is, it is being created near real time. Every minute there's data that is being created. Even now as I speak, this is data. Somebody presented this paper, somebody else has just presented. So it is also diverse in variety. It is exhaustive in scope. It is fine-grained in resolution and uniquely indexical and identification. Relational in nature and flexible. It holds traits of extensionality. That is, it can add new fields easily, and at scalability can expand in size very rapidly. Big data relies on software approaches generally referred to as analytics or business intelligence tools, like the former presentation has just presented on. There's a lot of directions that data comes from, especially in institutions of higher learning. There's an administrative, academic, assessment, institutional, external, all sorts of data is coming from all different directions. And where I come from, like I said, I started working for strategic management support, and our role is to support management in their decision making, for data-driven decision making. So I come from that background of supporting management with data. There's been a lot of examples of how we can use business intelligence tools. This one is from the direction of how do we support management with business intelligence tools. And then analytics. What is analytics? Analytics is defined broadly as the measurement, collection, analysis, and reporting of data about learners and their context for purposes of understanding and optimizing learning and the environments in which it occurs. Analytics comes in many shapes and sizes depending on the end users, type of data required, sources of data captured, purpose or intended goals. So there's a whole lot of ways that you can look at it. So big data analytics is the practice of iterative methodological exploration with emphasis on statistical analysis. It is used by institutions committed to data-driven decision-making, as noted by the complete web below. We don't want to thumbsuck decisions. They have to be based on data. They have to be based on information. So what is big data analytics? It is the process of examining big data to uncover hidden patterns, unknown correlations, and other useful information that can be used to better decisions, to make better decisions by institutions. It is reactive, that is, it can look at static past and say and describe this is what is happening, and it can also be proactive or predictive. It can say, based on this history that we have, this is what is likely to happen. And there's another level of data analytics that can also be at a later stage when we are advised. It can also be predictive. It can say, based on the history, this is what is likely to happen, and in that situation, this is what we should do. And so why do we care about analyzing the big data? Why do we care? Like I just alluded to, it can help us in forecasting. Well, you can look at where are the most strategic places to advertise. For instance, if you're a business, you can look at what does my recruitment strategy activity look like. It has also marketing effectiveness. How well did my investment work for me? And how did my investment work for me compared to my talent competition? So it is basically, from a business point of view, competitiveness. It drives competitiveness. Theoretical underpinning. We know that HEIs have become more like corporations due to changes in traditional sources of funding, declining grant and research funding, decreases in donations. Higher educations must seek funding through creative and non-traditional sources in the marketplace. Like right now, the buzzword at TUT is to cut on their own budget, cut on budget, cut on budget. So we have to be business-like in our approach. See what opportunities there are out there, see what problems there are there, and try to mitigate the risks before they set in. Therefore, we use the theory of academic capitalism to address ways in which HEIs are becoming more like business corporations. Concepts that provide crucial underpinnings to the theory include success, performance, competitiveness, accountability. As HEIs become more business-like, they also become more resource-conscious and market-focused and recognize the need for transparency. We need to account in a transparent way. So big data analytics are potential tools that can be used to measure concepts of success, performance, competitiveness, accountability. Businesses use knowledge management and tools such as business analytics and data mining to create a competitive advantage. We want to have a competitive advantage. And like he alluded to, the previous presenter alluded to, there are a lot of business intelligence tools that we can use. And as an institution of higher learning, and as TUT in particular, we use what is called Higher Education Data Analyzer. So I decided, for the purposes of this presentation, maybe let's zoom into HEDA and see what it is that HEDA can do for us. In this instance, we're using Power HEDA, which is the latest version of HEDA system used for delivering management information system within TUT. It provides relevant, timely, strategic, accurate, and structured information to managers at all levels in the university in order to execute planning, control, decision-making, and problem-solving efficiently and effectively. That is, if we have the technical know-how of how to use this. Everything is there. At the click of a button, you can click and find all the information that you need. So as an institutional researcher, one of the major responsibilities is to provide management with all the information, not data anymore. You take the data, turn it into information, and say, use this in your decision making. So as I was navigating through this, I said, why do they need me, honestly, as an institutional researcher? Because at the click of a button, they can take this, but I'm careful not to emphasize that too much because I still need my job for now. Yeah. So where does this header take the data, get its data from? From ITS, it has been alluded to. The ITS is the main source of data, but you also have HEMIS, we have REAMS, we have MyTutor, that we can all get the data from. And other avenues that are not mentioned here, there's a possibility that all the tools or the repositories can be integrated and we all have access to the data. And then a closer look at the header for TUT. It has a lot of reporting methods. We have dashboards, we have dynamic parameter-driven reports, we have cube reports or pivot tables, decision support models such as the student tracking, viability model, performance evaluation scorecard, workload models, student application requirement system, and cohort analysis. And then just to give an example of what we mean by this, there's the header dashboard there that shows that can give us at the click of a button headcount enrollments, first-time enrollments, postgraduate headcount enrollments, scarce skills, all sorts of information that you want you can get on the HIDA system. And there's the TUT data analytics. It also gives you another set of different information that you can need as a manager of this institution. There's also if there is the report that you're looking for is not there as a dashboard, you can also manipulate. You can tell the system what is this that you want, what kind of manipulations or correlations that you want. So you simply feed in the information that you want. For instance, if you want graduation rates for 2013, from 2013 to 2014, you tell the system what you want, and at a click of a button, voila, it's there in front of you. Those are some of the different types of reports that you can have from this. So what are the opportunities of big data analytics? Like it has been alluded to here, as some of the deliberations were going on, I thought, okay, here it is, and maybe I don't need to present anymore, because we know that there's a lot of opportunities of big data analytics or business intelligence tools, or whatever we want to call it, but there's a use that we can do with technology that is available in this century. So it can help us with student and faculty acquisition. You can increase the share of top students required. We're always complaining that we're getting the worst students. We can use this to inform our decisions and to inform our planning, such that we are the university of choice, so that we can attract